Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a problem that, let's be real, gets all of us from time to time. Using some incredible insights from behavior science, we are going to unpack how you can finally, and I mean finally, stop procrastinating for good.
Okay, so picture this, because I'm sure you've been there. You have a massive, super important deadline looming over you. It's the only thing you should be working on. But what do? You suddenly find yourself completely absorbed in alphabetizing your spice rack, or maybe you're deep cleaning the bathroom grout with an old toothbrush. Why? Why does our brain do this? Why does it pull us toward these totally meaningless tasks right when a meaningful one needs our attention?
Well, to fix this, we've got to understand what we're actually up against. And here's the first big secret. Procrastination is not what most of us think it is. It's not a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's actually a habitual, short-term escape route. It's your brain trying to get away from negative feelings, like stress or boredom or just feeling overwhelmed, that you've connected with a certain task. It's an emotional dodge, plain and simple.
So, what does this emotional escape actually look like when it's happening? It turns out there's a predictable cycle that keeps us stuck.
And this is the trap. It's this four-step loop that our brain just runs on autopilot. So, step 1, you face a task. Step 2, you immediately feel some negative emotion about it. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's anxiety. Step 3, to get rid of that bad feeling, you do something else. You procrastinate, which gives you an immediate little hit of relief. And here's the real kicker. Step 4, your brain, being smart but also kind of simple, learns that this avoidance tactic worked. It reduced your stress in the short term, so it reinforces the whole loop, making it even more likely you'll do it again next time.
Now, what's so cool about this is that there's actually a simple, really powerful formula that explains not just this procrastination loop, but pretty much any human behavior.
And here it is. This is from the FOG behavior model, and it is our key for breaking the cycle. For any action to happen, you need 3 things to all happen at the very same time. You need motivation, you need the ability to do the task, and you need a prompt or a trigger. Think of them as the 3 essential ingredients for any action you take.
Think about it like a 3-legged stool, right? If you take away even one of those legs, the whole thing just falls over. The behavior doesn't happen. So you could be super motivated and the task could be easy, but if nothing prompts you to start, you won't. Or you're motivated and you get a reminder, but the task just feels way too hard, you're not going to do it. And finally, the task could be simple and you get a prompt, but you have zero motivation. Again, nothing happens. You need all 3.
So here's the really crucial point. We can actually treat these 3 things, motivation, ability, and prompts, as 3 levers. 3 levers that we can consciously pull to design our own behavior and finally break out of that procrastination loop for good.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's pull that first lever, motivation. Now, this one often feels like the hardest one to get a grip on, right? We feel like we either have it or we don't, but you can actually summon it when you need it.
And this is one of the best tricks in the book. It's called the 10-minute rule. See, our brains are just terrible at guessing how we'll feel once we actually start doing something. We almost always think it's going to be worse than it is. So, you trick your brain. You just say, okay, I'm going to work on this for just 10 minutes. That's it. Anyone can do 10 minutes. You set a timer, and here's the important part. When that timer goes off, you give yourself full permission to stop. But you know what almost always happens? Getting started was the hard part. Now you've got momentum, and continuing feels so much easier.
All right, let's look at that second lever, which is ability. This one is so simple, but it's really profound. The easier a task is to do, the less motivation you need to get it done. And the opposite is true too. The harder a task feels, the more motivation you're going to need, which makes it a perfect target for procrastination.
So, instead of that old advice to eat the frog and tackle the hardest part first, try flipping that on its head. Make the task so ridiculously easy that you just can't say no. Break it down into the smallest possible steps. Start with the easiest part. Just aim for a messy, imperfect first draft. You can even change your environment to make it easier to start. The whole goal is to lower that ability barrier so much that starting feels completely effortless.
And that brings us to our third and final lever, prompts. You can think of prompts as the little triggers, the little nudges in our world that tell us, hey, do this now. They are the invisible directors of our daily lives. Now, prompts can be unhelpful or helpful. Our world is literally full of unhelpful ones designed to steal our attention. You know, the constant phone notifications, the social media tabs you leave open, the endless email alerts. But here's the good news, we can take back control.
We can design our own environment with helpful prompts. A calendar reminder that pops up for a focused work session, a simple to-do list sitting on your desk, or, putting your running shoes right by the front door. You can become the architect of your own triggers.
Okay, so now we have our three levers: motivation, ability, and prompts. Let's tie it all together with a single, incredibly powerful mindset shift that can honestly change everything.
This brilliant piece of advice comes from a Reddit user, and it is pure gold. He wrote, "A 0 day is when you don't do a single thing towards whatever dream or goal. No more zeros. It happens from a massive string of consistent non-zeros." This just completely reframes the goal. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent.
And that's the core of it, right there. The point isn't to be a superhero of productivity. The goal is much simpler. Just don't have a 0 day. Your new goal is just 1.
Do just one thing. Write one sentence of that report. Do one push-up. Read one page of that book, because 1 is not 0. And when you do that, you start a powerful virtuous cycle. Every single non-zero day is a small win. It builds momentum, and more importantly, it builds proof. Proof to yourself that you are the kind of person who makes progress. You're building an identity of consistency, one tiny action at a time. So that's the takeaway. Forget about trying to be perfect. Forget about becoming a productivity master overnight. Just focus on one thing, stringing together a chain of non-zero days. And you can start that chain today. You can start it right now. So the only question left is, what will your one non-zero action be?